In this lecture, we will review the psychosocial development in adolescence, especially referring to Erik Erikson's stages of psychosocial development. Stage 5, identity versus role confusion. The fifth stage of Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development is identity versus role confusion, and it occurs during adolescence from about 12 to 18 years old. During this stage, adolescents search for a sense of self and personal identity through an intense exploration of personal values, beliefs, and goals. Now, here's the conflict in regards to identity. If adolescents are supported in their exploration and given the freedom to explore different roles, they are likely to emerge from the stage with a strong sense of self and a feeling of independence and control. This process involves exploring their interests, values, goals, which helps them to form their own unique identity. Now, related to role confusion, if adolescents are restricted and not given the space to explore or find the process too overwhelming or distressing, they may experience role confusion. This could mean being unsure about one's place in the world, values, and future direction. They may struggle to identify their purpose or path, leading to confusion about their personal identity. Well, what happens during this stage? During adolescence, the transition from childhood to adulthood is most important. Children are becoming more independent and looking at the future regarding their careers, their relationships, their families, housing, etc. The individual wants to belong to a society and fit in. Teenagers explore who they are as individuals. They seek to establish a sense of self and may experiment with different roles, activities, and behaviors. Now, according to Erikson, this is important to forming a strong identity and developing a sense of direction in life. The adolescent mind is essentially a mind or moratorium, a psychosocial stage between childhood and adulthood, between the morality learned by the child and the ethics to be developed by the adult. This is a major stage of development where the child has to learn the roles they will occupy as an adult. During this stage, the adolescent will re-examine their identity and try to find out exactly who they are. Now, Erikson suggests that two identities are involved, the sexual and the occupational. Let's move on to social relationships. Given the importance of social relationships during this stage, it is crucial for adolescents to have supportive social networks that encourage healthy exploration of identity. It is also important for parents and teachers and mentors to provide guidance as adolescents navigate their social relationships and their roles. But why, do you ask? Well, here's why. Formation of identity. Well, social relationships provide a context within which adolescents explore different aspects of their identity. They try on different roles within their peer groups, allowing them to discover their interests, beliefs, values, and goals. This exploration is key to forming their own unique identity. Also, there's peer influence. Now, Peer groups often become a significant influence during this stage. Adolescents often start to place more value on the opinions of their friends than their parents. How an adolescent's peer group perceives them can impact their sense of self and identity formation. Now, in regards to social acceptance and belonging, feeling accepted and fitting in with peers can significantly affect an adolescent's self-esteem and their sense of identity. They are more likely to develop a strong, positive identity if they feel accepted and valued. Feeling excluded or marginalized may lead to role confusion and a struggle with identity formation. Now, experiencing diversity, that is something that we need to talk about. Interacting with a diverse range of people allows adolescents to broaden their perspectives, challenge their beliefs, and shape their values. This diversity of experiences can also influence the formation of their identity. When it comes to conflict and resolution, social relationships often involve conflict and the need for resolution, providing adolescents with opportunities to explore different roles and behaviors. Learning to navigate these conflicts aids in the development of their identity and the social needs needed in adulthood. Okay, let's review success and failure in stage 5. Well, according to B, what should happen at the end of this stage is a reintegrated sense of self, of what one wants to do or be, and of one's appropriate sex role. During this stage, the body image of the adolescent changes. Now, Erikson claims adolescents may feel uncomfortable about their bodies until they can adapt and grow into the changes. Success in this stage will lead to the virtue of fidelity. Fidelity involves being able to commit one's self to others on the basis of accepting others, even when there may be ideological differences. During this period, they explore possibilities and begin to form their own identity based on the outcome of their explorations. Adolescents who establish a strong sense of identity can maintain consistent loyalties and values, even amidst societal shifts and changes. Erikson described 3 forms of identity crisis. First, severe. Identity confusion overwhelms personal identity. Second, prolonged. Realignment of childhood identifications over an extended time. And third, repeated unsuccessful attempts at resolution. Failure to establish a sense of identity within society. For example, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. But really, who does? This can lead to role confusion. However, if adolescents don't have the support, the time, or the emotional capacity to explore their identity, they may be left with unresolved identity issues, feeling unsure about their roles and uncertain about their future. This could potentially lead to a weak sense of self, role confusion, and lack of direction in adulthood. Role confusion involves the individual not being sure about themselves or their place in society. In response to role confusion or identity crisis, an adolescent may begin to experiment with different lifestyles, For example, work, education, or political activities. Also, pressuring someone into an identity can result in rebellion in the form of establishing a negative identity, and in addition to this, feeling of unhappiness. Again, the fifth stage of Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development is identity versus role confusion, and it occurs during adolescence from about 12 to 18 years old. During this stage, adolescents search for a sense of self and personal identity through an intense exploration of personal values, beliefs, and goals.